Hello and welcome, guys. This is Nauglir here, and you are watching Simply Walking into Mordor, episode number 5. We are level 10 here, picking up just where we left off. Look at this beautiful night sky. The moon, full moon, rising over Duillond. This beautiful elf town. Look at it. The stars are beautiful. The mountain range in the background, it's glorious. And that road leading to the Shire in the distance with the pink trees. Such a good sight. People keep walking across this bridge. Get out of my shot. Anyway, we are going to pick up straight back from where we left off. We have some quests to deal with some dangers around Duillond, specifically in the ruins of Dol Ringwest. But before we do that, we have to collect some damp, fragrant herbs. And they are just down here at the river. So, walk down here. Notice there's some of these harmless little creatures over here. Because I'm an elf, or a high elf as well, I'm not allowed to harm them. If I was a dwarf, a hobbit, a man, or a Beorning, you would be able to kill them. But, since I'm an elf, I care enough about nature that I cannot kill them. Where are these herbs? Alrighty. Alright, there we go. Damp, fragrant herb. Sounds wonderful. I'm sure it's very useful. But, whoever wants us to collect it, asked us to collect it, must be for a reason. Looks like there's some more across the river over here. Let's have a swim across the river. Now, I know the graphics are not the best in this game, and they're a bit clunky, but I still think they look pretty good. Especially considering this game was made over 10 years ago, and it runs off a 20-year-old engine. The engine that this game runs on was developed in 1997, so I think this game is doing pretty well considering its outdated software. Alright, we've got our herbs. We're going to take them back to Calangil in Duillond. And while we do that, let's have a look at our alerts that we've gotten down in our alerts panel. We've got 5 alerts. Let me just mount up here while we get out of the river. We've got 5 alerts. The first one is that we've got some mail. We've got 2 pieces of mail. From Brethelwyn, the lady at the vineyard has sent us a bottle of wine from Limael's vineyard. Well, wonderful. I think we'll save that for a nice occasion. We'll put that in a safe place in our inventory. And look at this. Okay, this is very interesting. So, I've just noticed since I opened my inventory, it must have been when we hit level 10. Let me check in our passive skills. We've got our weapon proficiencies. Yes! Now we have the use of two-handed swords. That must have been a level 10 characteristic. So now we can use our honed greatsword, which is going to be much better at doing lots of damage than our piddly little knives. And let's be honest, it looks way better than using 2 tiny little daggers. We should really equip our earring here. And then the rest of this we can just send to the vendor to trash it. Okay. We've got another piece of mail here. An epic battle awaits. My master Erkenbrand sent me forth from his fortress of the Hornburg in Helm's Deep to bring word to adventurers of the epic battles that will soon be joined in Rohan. If you would learn to fight in such large-scale engagements, come see me at the Boar Fountain in the town of Bree. Rightio. So since we have got to level 10, we have unlocked the ability to run epic battles, which is a type of instance in Lord of the Rings Online, kind of like a dungeon, but they're really large-scale battles, and you access them from the epic battle panel, which is Shift B, and there are 8 of them to do, and they give you quite good rewards, although they're not run very much anymore, as they're quite slow-paced for most people. But I'm sure we can give them a go, maybe with some friends, as we increase in level. Yeah. We've also got our gift for an adventurer in our pack. That was a level 7 gift box. Tome of Defense. Might as well use that. Yeah, max morale and max power. Always handy. More attack damage. Can always use that. And level 8. Well, we're behind on our box openings. These potions of restoration are very not helpful. Level 9. Okay, no itemware from defeat. or damage, and more out of combat morale and power regen. Very helpful. And finally, level 10. This is where we're at now. We have an enhanced XP supply, some morale power potions, which are not very useful at all. We'll get rid of them. And a sladed accelerator. Alright, we'll keep these for later, because they will prove useful. And at level 15, we can open our next one. Alright, that's not for a while. Okay, let's keep going through our alerts. We've gained some LotRO points. LotRO points are the premium currency in Lord of the Rings Online. They can be used to buy things from the LotRO store. And they can be earned from completing deeds. And we have completed a deed, so we got some LotRO points. 5 LotRO points reward. And that was to reach level 10. Now, we've got a new title available because we've reached level 10 without being defeated in battle. So I reckon that's a good title. We're called Nauglir the Undefeated, or we are undefeated. That is a good title to have. Now, if we select ourselves, that is what our name appears as to other people. We have new skirmishes available. That's the epic battles. I'll explain skirmishes when we hit level 20, because that is when they come into play. Calanglil, we've got your herbs. Alright, find the first and second tower of Dol Ringwest. We can do that. We're going off to Dol Ringwest. We should really set our milestone here in Duillond, because we're not going to be going back to Celandin for a little while. Alrighty, so off in the distance we can see Dol Ringwest, ruins of the old elvish kingdom that once stood around here. In a way, there are plenty of boars. If you were a tailor, you might want to kill these boars and wolves for their hides, but we cannot do anything with them, so we're not going to bother. Alrighty, here we are. There are goblins inside the ruins. This is not good at all, but we've got a quest to defeat many of them, so we're going to do such a thing. Look at us with our big sword now. That is much more impressive than our 2 little daggers, if I say so myself. These dwarves will feel the ring of steel upon them as we bring our blade to bear. Very good. Another one up here. Fighting our way into the ruins. Brutal strikes. Very good. Okay. We have found the first or second tower of Dol Ringwest. So we are going to use our cleansing draught. That was what the herbs were for, apparently. And we're going to cleanse the tower. Alright. You know what? Let us grab into our class traits. And let's go into our AoE tree. So spec 3. And let's spend some points. Now, because obviously we're going to be getting different traits than last time. We're going to be using different skills as well. So we're going to get Battle Frenzy, which is a new skill. That will give us heaps of fervor and will increase our fervor regeneration over time. So we can use our powerful skills in combat with this skill. So that's a great one to have. Also, let's get our blade damage increase. Blade skill damage is anything that says skill type blade in the tooltip. So that's all of our AoE skills. Yep, blade, blade, blade. Well, that one's strike, that one's blade. There we go. Okay, so all of our AoE skills will get increased damage from this trait. Now, let's do something a bit risky. Let's run in here, in through the door, and find a couple of goblins to dance with. Alright, and let's go right around the corner so the ranged ones will get right onto us. And here we go. Look at this. All the damage coming around. Killing enemies we're not even targeting. This is what champions were made for. There we go. That is glorious. Okay. We've cleared the goblins. We can put our draught? I don't know how to say that word. At the tower. And look at those flashy rocks. They look like something we have to go see. But there are more goblins in the way. What does this call for? More destruction. Alright. Let's run in right to the rocks run around the corner to make sure these annoying ranged guys come up and fight us. And let's use our new skill, Battle Frenzy, to give us extra fervor. And we can use our big skills over and over and over again in battle, because we're getting heaps of new skills. And look at that. Goblin Slayer completed. We've finished a deed. Goblin Slayer, defeat goblins in Ered Luin. Killed 30 of them. We can be called the Guardian of Ered Luin. I think we're going to stick with the undefeated for now. We can Goblin Slayer Advance, which will get us a point of zeal. That's quite helpful. And some LotRO points. Always useful. Alright, let's search this stone can. Move this Battle Frenzy skill up here. Very good. Okay. Now, we need to return. We have nothing more to do here. So, let's fight our way out of this wretched place. Defeat these foul goblins. Oh, that goblin sounded so sad as he died. I'm very sorry. I'm not. Let's go on our horse, our valiant steed. And off we go. Now, you might have noticed we got a Slayer Deed Accelerator, 30 minutes, from our level 10 box. If you saw, we have a deed to kill goblins in Ered Luin. Now, obviously, every goblin we kill would tick this up 1 point. But if we used a Slayer Deed Accelerator, it would be ticked up 2 points for every goblin that we killed. So, if we were going to farm this deed at some point, we would want to put one of those on so that we would be there for half the time, because that's always... Grinding deeds is quite a grind, but quite useful as well for the trait points you get for them. Alright, so we've finished the quest of cleansing the ruins, and now Thinglayer is this guy's brother, and they have another brother, and they would like, or Calanglir rather, this guy, would like us to go to their younger brother, Glamir, who is trying to cleanse some other ruins. He is in Halflin in the north, and so we're going to go up there, but it's a level 14 quest, we're only level 10, we're going to give it some time. Alright. We're taking the broken sword to Bregar, and we are telling him that we've killed a bunch of goblins as well. Because we are valiant. We are a valiant warrior.
The sorrows of the Eldar.
The memory of that place will always be one of melancholy. Oh dear. But it's good for us because we've gained a wristband or an armband, bracelet. We've almost got to level 11. We've got ourselves a very nice two-handed sword as a random drop from one of the enemies. Very interesting. This Claymore of Ardor. Ardor obviously being the world that we are living in. And this does 9 DPS, which is 3 damage per second better than the greatsword we're currently using. And also gives us +1 damage to creatures of nature. Wonderful. Well, we might as well equip that. It will bind it to us permanently. Very well. Look at that. And we have got our new bracelet for 3 extra might. Alrighty. This blade means much, broken and dulled as it may be. Alas, the passage of time does little to dull my memories of that battle. And he's given us Bregar's Blade, which is a 6 DPS one-handed sword. That's alright. And he's given us a level. Level 11. Now is found. Bring Thorum's sword to Langlass. Langlass is a ranger, and he is at a hunting camp in the north. So, let's unlock this two-handed sword that we no longer need. And it looks like we are up to going to Langlass. Might just have a look around here, make sure we haven't missed any quests. Because for some reason I think we're meant to kill a goblin. Aha! Here we are. We're meant to kill a goblin in Dol Ringwest, and I wouldn't want to miss that out. There we are. Defeat Durglup. We get an earring for our troubles, which we won't use, we'll just sell. But the experience is worth it, so off we go. back to Dol Ringwest. Now, as we go, I might explain one or two of the stats that you see in your character sheet. I'll bring the character sheet up here. These are the stats that you'll find on your gear as we level up. We'll get better and better gear. And these are the ones we're modifying. So I'll start with the three most simple ones in the game: morale, power, and armor. So morale, very simple, is just your health. And every time you take a point of damage, 1 point of morale is taken from your total. And if you reach 0 morale, you lose the will to live, pretty much, or you lose the will to fight, and you succumb to your wounds. You must either be revived, or you retreat to a respawn circle. That will definitely happen to us in the future, but hopefully not for a little while. Definitely not until we reach level 20. I'm just stuck here, rooted by this skirmisher. That's annoying. Alright, broken free. So yes, morale. That is our health. Very simple. Power. The second thing is our blue bar underneath our next to our character's portrait. What is this guy doing? He's just running away from us. I've got a new deed to use challenge. Very good. Okay. So power is obviously used to use your skills in battle and will regenerate over time, both inside and outside of battle. Same with morale. So you want to keep making sure that you're not overusing your power, but again, you want to make sure you do have enough to use the skills that you want, because it can be a bit of an issue in some fights. Not usually though, we won't usually have to keep too much of an eye on it. Look at this, by the way. Absolute carnage happening over here. And we're still in combat with someone who is still wanting to fight us. Oh, this chap. Let's finish him off. Hello. So yes, morale and power, very simple. Lastly, armor. Armor is, of course, the amount of armor that you're wearing. You see it on pieces of gear like helmets and shoulder pads and chest pieces and other things, and shields and the like. And so armor will decrease the amount of damage that we take. As a heavy armored class, we're going to get quite a lot of that, and it will give points to our mitigations to damage. So armor in itself does nothing except add points to a different stat that actually decreases the damage we take. And as we keep going down the character sheet, we will encounter that stat a bit later on. But first, we have found our quarry, Durglup. And we have another trait point. Might as well spend that. Going into single target mode, so we can take on this goblin. Man to man. High elf to goblin. Now he's there casting a spell to heal himself. We can't do anything about that at the moment, but soon we will be able to. Alright, we're done. Let's use our map home skill to return to Duillond and hand in this quest. We've got some new deeds to use new skills. That's all good. They will happen as they happen. Okay. So, back to Calangil. We've defeated the goblin you requested, Calangil. Cause for concern. It is good to know that the threat posed by this creature is no more. I thank you for your efforts there. Great, we've made a friend in him. We're going to take this earring and not use it at all. You notice our earring has gotten quite a bit better since we put it on, and so has our ring. So they do in fact level up with us as we go. We've completed another deed for doing quests in Ered Luin. We've done 20 now, and we got a point of compassion, which gives us some more stats, a passive stat increase. And we've got ourselves another deed to do 10 more quests for another virtue point. We've got ourselves 10 LotRO points for that deed completion. And now I've found myself on the edge of a cliff. If you fall from too high, you simply break your leg, and that reduces your run speed for 6 seconds, can be all the way up to 60 seconds. So we've got a fairly light break there. All right. So we have a new virtue to equip. Because we completed that deed, we have a point of compassion. We can put that in, giving us another passive stat increase. We're riding right now to the hunting lodge in Halflin, where Langlass is ready to receive the sword from Bregar. And there are plenty of quests here for us, along with a stable master. And this Hendrival, little bird, wants to fight us. I don't know what the bird's going to do. He's a champion of our skill. But nevertheless, here he is. And now he's dead. Alright. So this stable master. These guys are very useful. They will let us hire a horse, which will take us between towns. And so, as we discover more and more stable masters, we'll be able to access more and more places. This guy doesn't offer any swift travels. Swift travels let us immediately travel to a new place, which is much more useful. We won't be taking many bought horses.
I'm sure it will do no good.
Alright, we've got some new quests to accept. From Sleirant, an elf named Penglir gave me this beautiful bow, but I've gone and lost it. Oh dear, so we have to go collect his stolen bow. Fair enough. Now, Langlass, this is the elf. This is the ranger that we were sent to talk to. And we have a sword to give him. He is asking us to take the scroll to Bregar back at Duillond, so we can return to Duillond with that scroll. Brassi is also going to give us a quest.
Stay a moment, friend.
He is injured, and he has twisted his ankle, but he has rescued this lynx mother, although the lynx mother has lost its cub. We will deal with that in a second. We're going to return to Duillond and complete our quest from Langlass the Ranger before we deal with any of the quests up there. So, off we go back to Duillond. Not going to worry about this. Not going to worry about this Dour Hand Armsman who's attacking us. That would be the evil faction of dwarves that I was mentioning before in a previous episode. As we ride, let's explain the next skill on the next stat on our list, which would be Might. Now, Might does a lot for us as a champion. As you can see here, there are 5 stats in this little block: Might, Agility, Vitality, Will, and Fate. They are the 5 main stats in the game, and each class has a different main stat. If you're a heavy armored class or a melee class, usually your main stat is Might. If you're a ranged class or a dexterous class, your main stat is usually Agility. And if you're a spellcasting class or a magical class, your main stat is usually Will. So Might, Will, and Agility, and then Vitality and Fate are kind of auxiliary stats. Vitality obviously gives health, and Fate does some other things for you. But Might, as a champion, is our main stat. It gives us points to tactical and physical mastery, increasing our damage, and it gives us points into block and parry, increasing our defensibility. So as you can see here, our parry rating is increased by our Might. We get 8 points of tactical and physical mastery per point of Might, and we get 3 points of block and parry rating per point of Might. So it's a very useful skill for us, especially because it increases our damage. Rightio. We're back at Bregar. We have a gift from Langlass in return for the sword. So we can choose some food as a reward for this quest. Great. And he's telling us to go all the way back to Kellendim. So we're going to ride back there. And as we ride, I will explain the other 4 main stats. So, as I said, Might, useful, very useful for us, the most important for us as it increases our damage. Agility, not as important for us, very important for classes like Hunters and Burglars. They get their damage increased from Agility, but we just get an increase to critical rating, parry rating, and evade rating. So it is useful, but not nearly as important as Might. Vitality, as I said before, increases maximum morale. Vitality will give us, I believe it is 4.5 points of health. I cannot remember exactly. can probably figure out from the stats on the screen there. But we get a certain amount of health points per vitality point, as well as a bonus to resistance and non-combat morale regen. So we're out of combat, we regenerate our health faster. Wonderful! Vitality is also quite useful for us as a champion, because it increases our max health, which we will need if we're going to sit under multiple enemies and fight them off all at once. Second to last is Will, which is probably the most useless of all of the stats for us. It increases tactical mastery, which is like tactical damage, so spells and that sort of thing. Not very useful for us as we are a physical damage class. Aside from that, tactical mitigation, defense against tactical attacks, which is quite helpful, but this is not nearly the best way to accumulate that stat. And finally, Fate, which increases... finally, resistance rating, sorry. Let's speak to Tauron. We have finished the quest, got some experience, and we now have some quests to do back up there at the hunting lodge. You know what, guys? I'm just going to explain Fate as we ride back, and we'll call the episode there. We're coming up on half an hour. This has been a great episode. We've got a lot done. We found a new sword, which is going to help us do lots and lots of damage. It's very good. But Fate. Finally, Fate is an auxiliary stat. It's quite useful for everyone, as it increases critical rating, it increases tactical mitigation, in-combat power and morale regeneration, and non-combat power regeneration. So it helps you regenerate your power and morale in combat, and gives you critical rating as well, which is quite helpful for landing those big blows that we want. So if we were going to give us an order of which stats we were prioritizing, it would be Might, Vitality, and then Fate. And then Agility and Will, not very useful. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode. In the coming episodes, I'll explain these next stats on our character sheet. But for now, that is all we will do for today. When I see you next, we will be back at the hunting lodge, ready to do more quests for those fellows. But guys, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you're liking the content and you're new to the channel, please subscribe and leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions of what you'd like to do in Middle-earth. There are plenty of things to do, so please leave your suggestions down below. Other than that, guys, that's going to be all for today. I'll see you tomorrow. And this is Nauglir, signing off.